Previously, on Mass Effect 3, we got ourselves tangled in yet another war. Today, we're invading Rannoch.
Commander Shepard, this is Admiral Zan. Have you reached Selchoris' escape pod?
Not yet. What's your status?
The civilian fleet is...
In the last mission, Admiral Han Gerrel forced the Quarian flotilla into an attack on the Geth. It worked, but one of the other admirals, Admiral Zalcoris, was shot down, saving his ships from a planetary defense gun. We're going down to the surface of Rannoch to rescue him.
Without him, some of our non-combatants are planning to leave the flotilla. Picture the consequences, if you will.
They'll be torn to pieces.
Naturally, but the civilian captains have deluded themselves into thinking they can reach the mass relay in time. Hopefully Chorus can stop the fools from presenting the Geth with such easy targets.
The Geth have dug in down there. I might not bring back good news.
It was always a possibility. There will be no blame if you come back empty-handed, Commander.
I'm getting some static.
It appears Selchoris crashed within range of a Geth jamming tower. You must disable it to contact him. Make sure to proceed with caution.
Zen? Admiral Zen?
It's been a long time since Admiral Chorus left the spaceship. Let's hope he's all right.
We'll see in a minute. Take us in to the tower. We're taking fire.
The Geth installed anti-aircraft guns beside the jamming tower.
We'll have to disable them on foot. Once the guns are gone, you take out the tower.
Right, Commander. Setting you down here.
My people have been in exile for centuries. To be standing here in the land of my ancestors?
I quite like Rannoch as an environment. It stands out from most of the other levels in the game as being unusually placid and peaceful. No crumbling ruins, no blasted skyscrapers or burning corpses, just this twilight desert.
3 centuries alone down here.
Then I guess we're lucky they're not all wearing nukes for backpacks.
There's a bunch of stuff in the Mass Effect Codex about Rannoch, something about how there's no insects, so plants evolve differently to use other animals for pollination, which had some effect on Quarian physiology. I don't really know. Not really important, except as an excuse to have the Quarians all wear Vorlon and countersuits all the time. Now, what is important, though, is the semi-religious connotations the planet takes on over the course of the series. Rannoch ties into the Jewishness of the Quarians. It's their Israel, their Zion. It's a lost homeland, which continues to dominate Quarian thinking even hundreds of years into their diaspora. And, as with certain millennialist movements, the reclamation of this lost homeland is a prerequisite for the end of the world. This is literally true in Mass Effect 3. We can't end the game, end the galaxy, until we've sorted out this mess on Rannoch and resolved the Quarian problem once and for all. At the same time, of course, Rannoch was, technically, this was never really built upon by the games, the source of all evil. Rannoch is also home of the Geth, the primary enemy of the Council in Mass Effect 1. Behind the Perseus Veil, the Geth Horde waits, ready to bring about the end of the galaxy in more conventional terms. But this only really applies in Mass Effect 1, where the Geth are the designated disposable baddies of the setting. When Mass Effect 2 rolls around, as part of the game's larger setting reversal, in which the Council becomes ineffectual, the Asari corrupt, etc., the Geth become misunderstood good guys, as typified by Legion. Ultimately, though, that's not a direction BioWare chooses to take Rannoch in. Anyway, let's talk about apocalypses. I think I've already mentioned that the apocalypse is a bit of a motif in Mass Effect 3. In the beginning we see the apocalypse by alien invasion of Earth and Palaven, War of the Worlds striders stomping all over our cities and things. Tuchanka is an irradiated hellhole, the result of apocalypse by nuclear war. In that arc, we actually use a global plague to undo a previous apocalypse, the Solarian Genophage. Rannoch then is no different, but I can kinda see two different apocalypses referenced here. The obvious one is the literal one, the apocalypse by robot uprising. It's a good one, a classic. The word robot comes from a Czech play about a mass rebellion of synthetic workers. The Geth kicked the Quarians off their planet, and now they're living the dream, Primus and Helena. At the same time, the Geth aren't really doing much with Rannoch. They're not terraforming the planet to adjust it to their superior mechanical forms. They've got their Dyson sphere for that. Instead, Rannoch, with all its solitude and quiet machines, feels like a planet after the Rapture. The planet's been painstakingly reconstructed by the Geth as a silent offer of reconciliation to the Quarians. There's no trace of the civil war that drove the Quarians off their planet, so it kind of looks like the Quarians all got raptured up to heaven, leaving behind an empty but pristine planet. Kind of funny considering the opposite is more accurate to the Morning War. After attempting to kill their offspring, the Quarians become unworthy of Eden and get kicked out into a galaxy full of disease and vacancy. Hopefully, with Tali, Legion and Shepard's help, they may yet prove worthy of reclaiming a state of grace and returning home. On a related note, it's worth remembering that apocalypse originally didn't mean simply the end of the world. An apocalypse is a revelation. Appropriately enough then, the end of the world in fiction is often used to reveal or explore aspects of the real world. The various post-nuclear war apocalypses of Canticle for Leibowitz, Threads, Fallout are rooted firmly in mid-20th century technology, international relations and consequent paranoia. In today's uni or multipolar world, nuclear warfare between two superstates, or any nuclear exchange, becomes increasingly anachronistic. So the real apocalypse at the start of the game isn't the destruction of Earth. It's the revelation that the Reapers are real, the Reaper cycle is happening, and the galaxy belongs, has always belonged, to these inscrutable, ancient robot gods. It's but one of a series of apocalypses that occur in the game and across the series, the original, the very first, being the encounter with Sovereign on Vermeer. And with all these apocalypses firing off all over the place, it shouldn't be any surprise that the galaxy will finish radically transformed by the end of the game.
You heard my message. Send out a distress call.
Radios are down. You a soldier?
Maintenance. Dorn hatched. I clean engine parts.
This place is filled with Geth. You should have hidden.
I thought I could buy the other civilians time. Fight some Geth. There were so many. First time I've even held a gun.
Can you tell me where Zalkoris is?
Looking for survivors. You can radio the Admiral if you take that jamming tower offline.
We'll find him, Dorn. I promise.
Please, listen. The civilian fleet didn't want this war. If there's even a chance that Admiral Chorus can get us out alive, and my son, tell him, tell Jonah that his father made it to the homeworld.
We will. Rest well, Dornhast vas Rannoch.
Let's get to that tower.
Right, Quarians. So in theory, The Quarian-Geth war should be fairly balanced, morally speaking. The Quarians are the aggressors, but they're also like us. The Geth are the victims, but they can't be trusted. In reality, of course, it doesn't work out like that. BioWare have a problem with nuance and subtlety. They shouldn't be a revelation to anyone. This goes back to the quest-reward morality system in Baldur's Gate. As I understand it, I've not played it myself, Dragon Age 2 struggles a lot with its Mage-Templar conflict, and the end result is that everyone comes off as unsympathetic and irritating. Sometimes I think BioWare approaches writing ambiguity like weighing scales. They write something good or positive, so they then have to balance it out by writing something horrible as well. Let's take the Quarians as an example. Tali is a good Quarian. She's nice, she's our friend, and she's against the war. Same for Zal'Koris. He was a dick to us in Mass Effect 2, but now he's pretty decent, and yes, he's also against the war. These characters, then, are balanced out by the bad Quarians. Hangerol is so thirsty for Geth's synthetic blood substitute that he almost killed us when we were on board the Geth Dreadnought. Daro Zen was creepy and weird all the way back in Mass Effect 2, and the casual disregard she has for Zal'Koris' possible demise shows that she has not changed one bit. In the next mission, we'll see some ancient Quarian history, and it turns out there were a lot of horrible Quarians back then too, and these, in turn, are balanced out by some noble, conscientious objectors who want to protect the Geth from genocide. The idea, presumably, is that you think, no, there's some good Quarians and some bad Quarians, so the truth must be in the middle. There's black and there's white, so overall it comes out grey, right? In practice it doesn't work like that. It doesn't really matter that there's some nice Quarians who don't like the unnecessary war happening in front of them. The nasty Quarians are still in charge, still doing nasty things. The Quarians are victims at best, accomplices at worst, to the villainy of Daro Zen and Hangerol.
Guns offline, Commander. I'll signal the shuttle. Commander Shepard. Jordan didn't make it, Admiral.
He didn't? I see.
I'm coming in with the shuttle. Where are you?
My surviving crew found their way to a clearing. I'll upload their location.
Stay together. We'll meet you there.
No, the Geth have cut me off. I hear another wave approaching.
Give us your coordinates.
Leave me. My crew will soon be overrun.
So will you.
My people are non-combatants, Shepard. They'll be slaughtered. Rescue them!
So your ship goes down and you give up? Your people are fighting for their lives up there.
My people are down here.
The entire civilian fleet's depending on you. Who's gonna look out for them? Admiral Geralt? Zen?
I cannot abandon my crew.
We save dozens now or millions later. Your decision, Admiral.
Ancestors, forgive me. Uploading my coordinates.
We're coming.
I think BioWare would have had more success in making the Quarians seem more sympathetic by playing up the legitimate reasons they have for needing to reclaim their homeworld. Overpopulation, galactic discrimination, degrading immune systems, these are all good reasons for the Quarians to need to invade Rannoch. If the emphasis had been on that, rather than Tali feeling really bad about starting a war, if the emphasis had been on the mutually incompatible needs of the Quarians and the Geth, then the Geth-Quarian conflict might seem a little less lopsided. the whole question of who is right is sidestepped somewhat, because it's no longer a claim about who has less mud on their clothes. The Quarians need to kill the Geth to survive, the Geth need to kill the Quarians to survive, and you are stuck in the middle of it all.
Welcome aboard.
Shepard, my crew. Perhaps there's still time. Hello? This is Zal'Koris. Does anyone copy? Hello?
We've got to go.
I pray they found comfort in the homeworld skies. Commander, unrest has spread further than I thought. You were right that I return.
Have you talked the civilian captains into staying?
Yes, they've regrouped into defensive positions around the fleet's core. If we hadn't stopped them from... Any aid I can offer is yours. After the Quarians drove the Geth straight into the Reaper's arms, I'd give anything to stop the madness of this war.
And that's why I needed you to come back.
Of course. It's time we turned our attentions to those we can still save. Farewell, Shepard. Fly safely.